So though the transfer portal is closed, that doesn't mean our transfer portal news is going anywhere. And today, we need to discuss Colorado and Coach Prime making more headlines in the transfer portal. First and foremost, yesterday, Colorado sustained a loss in the transfer portal as tight end Seydou Traore decided to re-enter his name. But it did not take Colorado long to start stacking some wins, as today, they've gotten two big commitments out of the portal, something we've got to break down. But before we can, as always, y'all know the drill. I have got to hear from you. Hop down to the comments, give me a Y for yes or an N for no. Were you surprised that Seydou Traore transferred out of Colorado? And let me know what you're thinking. If you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe. Hit that bell notification. I do constant college football content. You don't want to miss any of it. And if you enjoyed the content, be sure to like and comment down below. Those interactions seem small. They are massive to content creators such as myself, and we're on a push to 20,000 subscribers. I'd love to have you a part of this unbelievable community. But having said all that, let's jump right into this. And let's start with the loss Colorado sustained in tight end Seydou Traore. And if you've been around the channel, if you've heard my takes on Traore, you probably know I was really excited to see what he would be able to do for Colorado. My biggest question with Traore and Colorado came to Sean Lewis, because though I'm a real big fan of the Sean Lewis hire, whenever we go back and look at Sean Lewis with Kent State, that tight end position didn't see a whole lot of play. And I was curious as to what it would look like with Colorado. Now, at the point where you got a Seydou Traore and we look at what he can do as a receiving threat from the tight end position, I was curious to see if that would mean that the tight ends would see more play at Colorado. You have some talented guys. You have a quarterback that's a veteran in college football at this point, some talented running backs, and it seemed like you could tie it all together with the tight end position, and that could still very well be the case. But whenever the video of Tim Brewster talking about Seydou Traore started making the rounds, it caught my attention. And it's one of the reasons why, though I'm partially surprised Traore is re-entering the transfer portal, I'm not as surprised as some people were on social media because of that clip where Tim Brewster was saying this is a very, very talented individual, but we just want to see more hunger. We want to see more ferocity out of him. I thought it was an interesting clip, and I'm going to be very intrigued to see where Traore ends up, because he is an utter mismatch at the tight end position. And if he can get all the little things down for the position, he is going to be a nightmare for defenses to try and guard. So I'm really excited for the future of Traore, and I'm going to be keeping up to see where he ultimately ends up, because someone's going to get a very gifted player. But it did not take Coach Prime long to start stacking some wins out the transfer portal, and today they've gotten two big ones, one on offense and one on defense. And we'll stay on the offensive side of the ball, where Colorado got another wide receiver. This one, a former Auburn Tiger who had originally committed to Cincinnati out the transfer portal, who has now flipped that commitment to Colorado, and Travarish Dawson. And for Dawson, you get to be added into a room where, for Colorado fans, you're probably very excited about what this wide receiver room could produce. When we look at it, you have Jimmy Horn, you have Xavier Weaver, big wins out the transfer portal, but one of the most compelling factors for this wide receiver room for Colorado is first and foremost Sean Lewis being the offensive coordinator with that breakneck pace, but secondly, who the wide receiver coach is, which is Brett Bartolone. And one of the reasons why I find that so compelling is because Brett Bartolone was the offensive coordinator for Coach Prime at JSU. Making his way from being an offensive coordinator to a wide receiver coach, I thought that was a great addition for Coach Prime in Colorado. One of the reasons I always point you to the staff and the surrounding pieces for Colorado. One of the reasons why I'm so excited. So I thought this was a great addition. You get a guy that had formerly played in the SEC, someone who is going to play in the Big 12, and now he finds his way to the Pac-12. This is adding in depth and an individual who could be a dangerous addition to your wide receiver room. But now let's transition to the defensive side of the ball, where Coach Prime in Colorado got what I think is a really big addition in former Florida State defensive back Omarion Cooper. And one of the reasons why I think this is such a big addition is because Cooper is an individual that possesses both experience and eligibility. And when you're talking about getting players out the transfer portal, that's a really great take. Because the big difference between the transfer portal and high school recruiting is, in a lot of circumstances, you can get guys out the transfer portal that you know have successfully made the transition from high school football to college football. A transition that is very difficult to make, something we really don't appreciate as much as we should. The transfer portal allows you to reach in and get guys you know have successfully made that transition. But it's one thing to have a little bit of experience. It's another to have legitimate starting experience which Cooper has at multiple different positions. And this is the second reason why I find this so compelling. First off, we talk about experience and eligibility, a great thing to get out the transfer portal. Secondly, versatility. This is a guy that saw experience at Florida State at cornerback and at safety. And whenever we look at the Colorado secondary, I'm excited. We've talked about this before. You have several names that are going to move people, and whenever you get an Omarion Cooper, someone that has legitimate college football experience at multiple different positions, now you can min-max your secondary. If he's better suited at safety because you like some corner pieces better, you put him at safety. Now you've got a safety you really like with experience, and you were able to maximize the corner position. That is why versatility is so key in Colorado's circumstance. So I think these two wins that Colorado got today were real big, but I do not believe Colorado is done. Remember, you just had to have had your name entered into the transfer portal yesterday. The guys that are still in the transfer portal, they're free to commit whenever, and I think there are several names Coach Prime in Colorado are hot after, but I can't wait to hear from all of you. Hop down to the comments, let me know what you're thinking. That's it. See ya.